Hello everybody, it's your Dungeon Master Derek here. A couple of disclaimers for this episode. First of all, we are 7 episodes in and appreciate the support so much. We hope you are enjoying the story so far. I want to apologize for the 3-week delay on this video. We had powerful ice storms take out our power for 2 weeks here in Michigan and I couldn't edit videos. Additionally, I want to apologize for the poor audio in the middle of this episode. We recorded separately from normal for that portion and my microphone was a little too sensitive, so you will annoyingly hear some of my breathing. As we continue learning this whole thing, we again appreciate the support. Now let's get into episode 7 of 99 DnDing. Enjoy. Last session, the party made their way back to Lumbridge to return the skull to the corpse of Fesher Lumbristo. Upon doing so, the ghost was laid to rest, and a reward was given by the Church of Lumbridge. On the way, they stumbled into a bait pile and campsite of what appears to be some black armed members of Varrock known for their black market deals. The hidden individual was found by a familiar woodpecker and was dealt with. After a quick pyre ceremony for the unknown person and the skull returned, the group settled into the Riversong home, where discussions of a potential future together was made, and Solana awaited her meeting with the Council of Lumbridge. That is where we left off, and we'll pick up. So party, any questions, comments, or concerns before we get going?
I don't think so.
Nope.
Alrighty, let us continue the grind then. So we move over to Lumbridge. You are in the home of Lugroth Riversong and his family. It's about a little after 6, and Solana has this meeting at 7 p.m. And you guys are in the living room of Lug's home. What are you discussing?
Yeah. We're like right here.
The house would be off the map, so.
Yeah, we're technically off the map.
Nothing on the map. This is Theater of the Mind. You're in a home in Lumbridge, the home of Lug.
And Yoshi.
Yeah, technically Yoshi, yes. He lives here most of the time.
65 years.
Yes.
Wouldn't we be will we still be discussing staying together?
Yeah, I mean, you guys have known each other for basically 3 full days. So, Solana, what are you doing in Lug's home?
I'll say to the group that when I go to the meeting, I think I will not kind of immediately make myself obvious, but just kind of see what it's like. I think the other members of the council are going to be like much more higher ranking, obviously, than me or any of us. And so I'm going to try to fly under the radar. If they ask me about why I'm there, I'll give a little bit probably about kind of what's going on back in Taranwin and why I'm traveling at all. But I think I want to run this by you guys is, we just worked together to figure out what was going on with the skull. And when we left the tower, the archmage said that like not to worry about it, but it seemed like maybe important. And so if it comes up at the council, I might mention that we supported that, if that's okay with you all.
Sure. This is kind of piqued Bundak's interest. Like I'd be interested to see this through and figure out who this robed figure is.
What are the twins doing?
Can I be scanning the room, appraising everything in it?
Absolutely. Make a perception check.
Wait a minute. I did my character close out. Sorry.
You're good.
Perception checks?
Yes.
19.
You see a nice, well put together home, a family home, people who are very proper and dedicated to Saradomin. This is the type of family you want to bring your significant other home to. Despite Lug and what you know of him, you're impressed, and you can tell this place is riddled with family heirlooms. Not so much someone who's flaunting their wealth, but there's a very well made Saradomin symbol and just little trinkets here and there showing their faith. I guess, Lug, what would the inside of the Riversong home look like?
There's definitely a lot of artifacts or depictions of Saradomin. And then, so there's a library filled with tons of books, like a study. And then there's mine and Yoshi's room, which looks like, a typical teenage room on one side and then a middle-aged man's room on another.
Okay, so I would say, I want to find something that look for something that looks valuable, but they wouldn't notice. So like right in the middle, and I want to pocket it when no one's looking.
Okay.
I
So
think I
whisper
have
it to me, and we'll go from there. I'll let you know what you find.
Okay.
All right. So that's what Fubar's up to. What's Fazora doing?
I'm trying to distract from anything he might be doing. So if he's on one side of the room, I'm on the other, and I'm just walking around, dragging my hands across things. Maybe.
Okay. Are either of you contributing to Solana and Bundok's conversation here?
Nope.
Not really.
Okay.
With a passive perception of 12, would I notice anything that he's doing?
You're talking with Solana. You don't notice anything going on.
Okay.
Lug and Yoshi, what's your input on this conversation?
I say, I'll gladly work with you guys again. I don't know about Lug.
I say, well, if Yoshi's willing to help, so am I. I gotta look after the little guy, and then I rub his head.
I smack his hands away.
Okay. What's Walter doing?
He's on my shoulder. Or he was.
Okay, you're just keeping him perched on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Should that be what I assume is
That's the spot.
going on?
It's always the spot.
Okay. Alrighty, good to know.
He's a prisoner of war.
All right.
I also want to point out, I want to say, after all this, I don't know about anybody else. I'd like to travel with somebody from here and leave Lumbridge. I don't know if Lug wants to come with me, but I'd like to stick to this. There's there's nothing much left for me here.
Lug kind of looks at him with an awkward look, like he's not grasping that he's also okay with Lug leaving, but Lug takes it as Yoshi just wants to leave him, so he's a little offended.
Does anybody say anything to Yoshi after that?
Yeah, Solana would say, Yoshi, where do you want to go?
I'd say, if you want me, I can be your right hand. If you want me to, I can try to get in with the twins, but I doubt they'd let me in. And can I look for the twins after I say that?
Yeah, you kind of glance around, you see like Fazora's just like running her fingers across everything in this house, just like looking, taking stuff in.
And I
Fubar's just kind of like
leaning.
leaning. Yeah, he's staring at a painting, arms are crossed. Doesn't seem to be up to anything.
I go, hey, like, kind of those, and I do like a little whistle, and I go, quit touching shit.
Who? Me?
Both of you.
I haven't touched anything since we've been in here. It all looks so pricey. I don't want to break nothing.
Insight.
And then I kind of just walk back. And, well, what am I? Because I said everything in here just looks expensive. I never said that
You said you didn't touch anything.
Well, I mean, of course I've touched things. I walked in, we opened the door, I'm walking on the ground. Of course I've touched things.
Yeah, but
All
you
right,
were
so-
looking at a painting.
Yeah,
So
I was
if
just
you're-
checking out how much it's worth.
If you're if you're lying, whisper me a deception check. And if you're telling the truth, whisper me a persuasion check.
So if I'm telling the truth that everything in here does look expensive to me.
And that you're not touching stuff, then you would do a persuasion. If you have touched something, then you want to do deception. He's not going to know which, and then I'll give you a ruling. Okay. Seems to be telling the truth. Hasn't touched anything. He's just looking around, man.
He probably natted you.
Yeah, I'm just taking in all this historical stuff, and
I'm just like doing
Man.
squinty eyes, just like I'm watching you.
Yeah.
I want to
just
walk
seems
up
be
to
interested.
Lug and be like, "Man, your parents did good for themselves, you know." And then I just sit down in a chair in the group.
Lug smiles and nods and then does a second take as it just clicked in his head what he said.
Okay. You're getting pretty close to 7 now before Solana leaves. Anything else you guys want to discuss as a group before she leaves and meets with these people? Yoshi did just say he wants to move on and possibly, travel with you wherever you go, Solana. So
And I will point
Yeah,
out,
that's what I wanted to finish. Go ahead.
Yep.
I do want Lug to come with me, but I guess the way I said it felt like he didn't want him to come with me.
Okay. That's a discussion you guys can have.
Would I know anything of relevance to give her about
Sure.
Ryzen since he's going to be in there?
Nothing of relevancy. You wouldn't be privy to what the king would bring to the table.
Okay.
You're literally there to shine armor and clean horses, and that's what a squire does for a night. So yeah, you're not really privy to information. You do overhear some things here and there throughout the castle, but yeah, as far as important matters go, you guys wouldn't really have much of a clue.
Gotcha.
So go ahead, Solana. You can finish off the Yoshi thought.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask Yoshi to confirm your interest is leaving, but there's nowhere in particular that you hope to go or that you hope to do or someone you want to see.
Well, on this journey, I'd like to find where I came from. I just found out I had this symbol. I just found out what it was. I just want to see if there's family out there, more family, real mom and dad.
So as Yoshi is saying this, Solana looks at Lug. How do you react to what Yoshi is saying?
When he says real mom and dad, Lug's basically is like, but our mom and dad, you already have a mom and dad. Why do you need to go searching for them? And why don't you want me to come?
I do want you to come. I just feel like you have so much going on here with the church and everything. You have your path laid out for you. I don't know my path. I've just been here watching you grow up.
To that, Lug says, you're right, but I don't want to stay here either. I feel like I have a greater purpose to spread the word of Saradomin throughout the realm. And to make sure you stay out of trouble.
I would never.
I say, Yoshi, would it be okay if I came with you?
Yeah. I'm not going to spread the word. You can.
And I say, you owe everything to this church. Then I go to give him a hug.
I'm so low, and I just grab around his legs.
All right.
Can I lean over to Foz and be like, are we doing this or what?
I don't know if we're hitching our wagon to the best people, but
I mean, I know we still haven't gotten a formal invite yet, but I feel like it's coming.
I feel like they like us for
Oh,
sure.
yeah. Well, I mean,
I think that
they
they
definitely like you, and so, you and
Yes.
Solana hit it off.
We're pals.
Yeah.
And I've actually heard them saying privately to me that they like you a lot.
Well, I mean, I know it just keeps making these weird gestures, but
No, it's positive.
It's just, I mean, we'll find out. We'll just wait for an invite. So we're gonna do this or what?
I mean, it's better than what we got going now, right?
Yeah,
Cleaning
if I
up
have to
horse
shine
shit.
another damn plate,
Oh
I
my
swear to
God.
God.
Yeah.
Let's just wait.
Okay.
Do we hear this? Does anyone hear this?
Yeah,
They're
how
coming.
Are you guys
quiet
doing
was
a-
that? How quiet
Yeah.
was
That's what I was
Can
going
we
to ask.
roll it? Can we roll it?
Were you trying to be quiet?
It doesn't matter to me either way.
Or were you like obnoxiously being loud enough for them to hear you?
No, I would have been at least somewhat quiet because I was brazenly like lying out loud. So
Okay. Yep. All right. So both of you make a stealth check.
Oh shit! It keeps closing my fucking 14.
a 6.
Okay. Yoshi and Lug, you do not hear this. You guys are having a moment. Solana and Bundock, you both hear a whispered conversation going on between the twins, but you can't. You catch like words, but you don't know what they're saying. You catch like us, or what are we doing? Shine another goddamn plate. Like you're catching glimpses of the conversation, but you don't know the core to it.
I get Bundock would probably check. What are you guys whispering over there?
Hey, right here. Nothing. Just talking.
Yeah, just talking.
Mm-hmm. Just seeing what everyone's thought. Listen to everybody. Trying to get into the team. Aspect.
Yeah, what's the sort of status vis-a-vis me and my brother here? Just out of curiosity, what's where we kind of landed on that?
Lug says, well, we do need a plate shiner. Just kidding. But that's what I was gonna say if you failed your stealth check.
And I look
Good
at him
one.
and I look at him and I go, yeah, I could shine the top of your head, and I wink at him.
How do you guys respond?
I think it's probably time for Solana to leave, right? So I feel like in her last kind of like moment with this, I'm thinking a lot about what it means that this group clearly has an interest to work together, but there's also really different maybe ethics
Dynamics.
across. Yeah, like the dynamics are interesting. The family and the sibling, and then like Bundock and Solana like as outsiders. But I feel like Solana's trying to figure out how to say to the group, we're gonna have to come up with some agreements maybe so that Fubar's antics aren't making Bundock crazy every day, for example, which is just something I've noticed.
Whoa.
No, stipulations.
Whoa.
Some group rules.
I don't even know what that means.
We
Like,
have to put it
With
to
the
a
word
vote
antics?
before.
this feels very targeted.
It was just an
It
example.
is.
I could give another example.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's plenty.
So what do you say as you leave? Is that kind of the gist of what you say, or
Yeah, just kind of like while I'm gone, think about who we want to be together and like as a group and as individuals as part of this group, and then like leaves.
yeah, she very awkwardly just think about it and walks out. You make your way towards the castle. Solana, you enter into the dining hall and find yourself in a room full of people, both at the table and along the walls. As you walk in, the Duke stands and approaches you. Solana, thank you for accepting the invite to join us. We're just waiting for one more, I believe, and we will get started. Please take whichever seat you would like. Around the table, you see several prominent members of the realm, leaders of the realm. Though you don't know who they are, there's a tray of drinks that is kind of circling the table at the moment, and you see two empty chairs. One closest to you, and then one on the other side of the table.
So we'll sit in the chair that's closest. She's like kind of nervously looking around, but is trying really hard to not look nervous, which probably lands as extra nervous to other people.
You definitely gather some looks. People are studying you without being rude, if that makes sense. Very curious to see an elf at this table. After about 15 minutes of these drinks being passed around and this kind of waiting, the Duke stands up and says, "It appears King Lathis won't be joining us, but I don't think any of us are very surprised by this." And you hear like light chuckling throughout the room. Seems to be a common occurrence that the King of Ardoin tends to miss these important meetings. Thank you all for being here. It has been some time since the last gathering. I hope you are all well, and I hope your travels weren't too harsh. We are, of course, gathered here to discuss important matters throughout Gielinor. I suppose I will start by introducing the table. We have Osman of El Kharid here on behalf of the Royal Desert family. And you see this man stand and nod. He's very tanned, has a goatee, black hood, black desert shirt, real lightweight. Seems to be very sun-marked and tanned from the desert. Then he says, representing Falador is Sir Amic Vars of the White Knights of Falador. And he stands, the man next to you. He is in this pearly white plated armor, like chainmail and legs. He's wearing a white headband. He also has this pointy goatee, and you see a big sword leaned up against the wall next to one of his squires behind him. We have all the way from Apatol, King Awowoge, and you see this chimpanzee that you saw earlier in the courtyard, crowned and jeweled, stand on his chair and raise his arms and kind of do these like monkey like bows. It's very comical if this wasn't so serious, and very confusing to see a monkey recognizing this speech and addressing it. Something you've never seen before.
Anna would probably be amused by this out in the world, but is like biting the inside of her lip to make sure she doesn't make any, like, doesn't laugh or anything. Just following what other people are doing, trying to stay really still.
I have called the generals of the Goblin Village north of Falador here. Please welcome General Bentnose and Wartface. And you see across the table there are two generals, one looking very unhappy that he's having to stand behind the other. One is wearing a different color plate goblin armor than the other. You can see they're very yin and yang, very opposite in the way they dress, the way their hair is made, they paint on their face. They do not look similar other than the fact that they are goblins. He says, we also have Pete, who may have some news from the Mauritania region for us. And you see another tan cloaked individual with a hood up on the other side of Sir Amikvar's stand up, wave, and sit back down silently. Of course, King Roald of Varrock, and the king on your right at the end of the table, does not bow, puffs out his chest, gives a wave, and sits back down. You can tell he is very confident and very masculine energy coming from the end of the table next to you. And he says, and then we have Solana, an elf from the Taranwin region.
Solana stands up and looks at the Duke and like bows and then tries to show recognition or appreciation for her space here. I'm not sure if they do anything back.
You are met with a lot of respectful eye contact. Not any turn of face. There's no questioning looks. There's a curiosity on a lot of their faces, but they're respecting that you are at this council. And you take your seat, and he says, and finally, we have Austri from the White Wolf Mountain Pass between Taverley and Catherby. Welcome. And this dwarf also stands on his chair. He is very short. He's wearing traveling gear. He's not armored out as you see most dwarves. He's not carrying any pickaxes or hammers or tools of the like. He seems to be a very informative and well-dressed dwarf. Very well taken care of and manicured. Then the Duke says, King Bolrin of the Gnomes could not make it, though he has written ahead with his input. We will put the issues on the table and then prioritize, as is tradition. Now, to start off, Lumbridge is in a good place now. We face very minimal threats, and the populace is stable. Aside from the goblins encroaching into the populated area, which I hope the generals and I can come to an understanding, all is well. There is rumor in Draenor Village, per usual, of a vampire haunting, but again, I hope to work with the Falador Knights to sort out a minimal investigation to quiet the fear of the people in Draenor. Does anybody have anything to say on this matter? After a brief pause, Sir Amikvar's stands next to you and says, nothing to add, but we have little worry about ourselves and are willing to look into this Draenor Village manor. And he sits down and he places his hand on the table, and you see the rest of the group, each one at a time, places their hand on the table. What do you do?
I also place my hand on the table. Also try to make eye contact with the Duke because he would know that I've not done this before in case he wants to offer up any instruction.
He meets your eyes and he smirks, and then he puts his hand on the table and he says, great. Next order, since he is not here, King Bolrin is asking for aid if we are able to assist. He feels a war has broken out among the Khazard men and the gnomes of Tree Gnome Village. If this is true, it could offset the peace in a spiderweb of ways in the Kandarin region. It is a shame King Lothus isn't here for input, seeing as they are basically neighbors. And you see some frustration flash on the Duke's face at the mention of King Lothus's name. He says, the gnomes feel they are being bullied and request we send someone to look into this matter. This would also likely result in a stop at the Grand Tree to see how King Narad Shaheen is involved. He then places his hand on the table and pauses to see if anybody else has any input on this, and you slowly see hands all be placed onto the table. Do you follow suit?
Yes.
Okay. And at this point, you're gathering as these problems are being brought up. It's addressed, hands placed, and if anyone has anything to add, they can do so. If not, hands are placed on the table, and that is signal to move on to the next thing, that there's nothing further to add. The king next to you stands. There are rumors of evil magics being performed in the woods south of Varrock. My guard are not prepared to look into matters of magic, and I implore this council to send help. The heiress of Varrock foresees a demonic presence heading towards our city, and has counseled me to address this matter post-haste. With the Grand Exchange security, keeping the gangs in check, and maintaining civil peace overall, I have no resources to look into this. Varrock is a staple to this realm, and I feel this matter takes top priority. And his hand is slowly placed on the table. Goes around, and nobody seems to have anything further to add to this problem. A Wowoge stands, this monkey straight across from you, stands on his chair, and you hear this like ooking and ooh, 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 ooh. He is speaking to all of you in this monkey speech, and a squire behind him steps forward and translates. And you get this message that says, business as usual on Apatol. We are being left alone. We have nothing to report. And this dwarf, who you normally are deep baritone voices, this dwarf stands up and goes, yeah, we don't have much to report in the White Wolf Mountain Pass either. All is well. And all hands are placed on the table again. The Duke turns and looks towards you. Solana, you are newest to the council. What news have you brought from Taranwin? We are not used to elves joining us at this council, so forgive our curiosity.
Thank you, Duke. Solana kind of awkwardly, maybe slowly stands up. Solana looks around again and tries to make as much eye contact as possible with everyone there and says, I humbly appreciate the opportunity to join the group today. I don't bring great news from Taranwin, but as you know, the elves have not joined like external groups like this very often, and so you'll have to forgive me in being new to how this works. She shares that there is not quite peace, but also not quite war, and the members of Taranwin are in the middle of trying to figure out what their future looks like. She says that she asks nothing specific from the council at this time, but their awareness that there may be in the future support sought from the elves, and she inquires as to whether this is a place that kind of conversation would be welcome if it was needed in the future. Solana also says, as an elf whose first time it is in a group like this, I also welcome any advice or expertise that you have in terms of history or kind of how the relationships in the realm work that I could bring back to the elves as we move towards figuring out what we're going to do next. Then I just place my hand on the table.
Only you hear it, but the king next to you kind of guffaws like, psh.
Which one?
The king next to you, to your right, the king of Varrock, King Roald, kind of goes psh, under his breath when you say this and put your hand on the table. And everyone else puts their hand on the table as well. And then the Duke says, thank you for joining us. Osmond. And this very tanned man says, yes, we the people of the desert are doing well. One small issue. We do not have details yet, but the prince may or may not have been kidnapped or has run away. Yes, it is a big deal. I know I pass it off as it's not, but without further details, I can't say I want to make this a top priority at this council, but it should be known. And he puts his hand on the table and sits down quickly. And the Duke kind of raises his eyebrows. He says, "Oh, okay, Osmond, thank you." And finally, we have Pete from the Mauritania region. Pete stands up. He goes, "Yeah, well, Mauritania has been quiet in the swamplands. Too quiet. Especially Darkmire. Something is up. I do not know what it is. I've been trying to gather information. It is an uneasiness and a quiet that I do not like. However, without more information, again, I do not want to cause fear in your hearts." And he's got that like wiry, creepy voice to him. You haven't seen his eyes yet. He's got this hood over like his forehead and eyes as he talks. You can just see the tip of his nose and his mouth. And he awkwardly sits back down and he goes, "Oh," and he puts his hand on that table after he sits. You can tell he's also new here. Duke says, "Okay. I guess with that, we could start our discussions." And the king immediately stands up and says, "Obviously, priority number one is Varrock. It has to be. It is the capital of Mistlin. You know how much economy flows through that city. It needs to be protected. Forgive me, but none of this matters as much as protecting the city of Varrock." And the Duke says, "We understand, King Roald. We understand. Remember, this is a civil conversation. No need for the aggression. Tell us more about this problem." And he says, "Eris has foreseen a demon rising from a chanting group of individuals that have been spotted in the woods to the south. No gatherings or chants have been heard. That is what foresight is. It is going to happen. The Delrith is to return." And everybody kind of like gets real quiet. "Yes, that is what I thought. See how important it is. You are all scared. It must be taken care of." And he sits back down and the Duke says, "Well, what do you need from us?" He says, "Anyone with arcane knowledge, preferably. My warriors are not trained to fight the magics. The wizard tower appears to be busy, not returning my questions. We need help, resources, people willing to investigate before it is too late." He says, "Well, my king, it is true the wizard tower has been busy. Partially, perhaps, my fault. We have had a group of individuals looking into a matter here in Lumbridge, a small matter, just to avoid the event. This individual group has visited the wizard tower, and word has gotten back to me that they did have a break-in, and there was an event that happened. So yes, they have been busy. No ill will towards them, but this group has resolved that issue, and it was by my request, so I apologize for their lack of communication." And obviously, you know, this is centered around the skull and whatnot. So that confirms that he is aware of what has taken place with you and your group. He says, "Okay, thank you for giving us those details, King Roald. There is also the matter among the gnomes."
Solana like raise her hand.
"Yes, Solana."
She looks at King Rold a little apprehensively because I think she feels that he's maybe not quite convinced about her, but offers to the group, "I know about the group that the Duke is mentioning who investigated at the Wizard's Tower, and the matter was taken care of as the Duke described, but it may signal something similar to what you're describing. and I could like offer their services to help figure out what's going on, if that would be received. Like by, I don't know if I can ask the king or the duke. I'm basically looking between the two of them.
The king kind of raises his eyebrows and like nods, kind of like in a disbelieving way, but he's like, yeah, okay, whatever. And the duke goes, very respectful of you to offer that, Solana, before even saying your piece about your problem. Impressive, to say the least. Okay, well, there is the issue with imminent, if not already started, war with the gnomes. The Khazard are a dangerous and ruthless bunch in Kandarin, and the gnomes are, of course, very important to the happenings and the advancements of technologies within our realm. The disruption of this knowledge and advancement is a problem for our future. We need to decide if we are going to send help and stop these battles before they get started, or if we leave the gnomes to themselves. And Osman kind of speaks up and goes, once our situation's figured out, we may be able to send some Elkari guard to look into this. I hear there's a few adventurers in the area that may want to look into this. We'll have to see. I may be out of line here offering this up in the royal family's stead, but again, we have to know what's happening with our situation first. I do not think it is a big deal, but we may be able to help. Duke says, all we really need is more information. If somebody was willing to travel there and seek out info, that'd be fantastic. And then Ceramic speaks up. He goes, the White Knights will delve into what is going on in Draenor Village with these vampire stories. It is very likely that it's just the villagers giving up on their lifestyles and disappearing, using these stories as cover as to not hurt feelings or feel as though people are being abandoned. But we'll look into it. We don't have much going on aside from the quarrels among the goblins, and he like kind of rolls his eyes towards the goblins who are like in this whispered bickering conversation with each other. You can tell they're not paying much attention to anything going on. The Monkey King he looks bored, and his hands are folded on the table, and he's just like staring at the table, and you can tell he's probably listening, but doesn't care about anything that's going on. Kind of a weird individual, especially with how high ranking this table is. Other than that, the king says, great, yes, Draenor Village. Does anyone else have input from there? Solana, weren't you guys just there? What's going on there? Are spirits high?
Spirits in Draenor Village seem high during the daytime, and then as soon as night falls, everyone goes into their homes, won't come outside. When my partners and I were investigating for the Duke, Morgan gave us shelter for the night.
Excellent. Okay. And Ceramic says, I will seek out this Morgan and discover what he knows. It sounds like it's non-instituted curfew. It's kind of the good for us. There's like chuckle happening around the table at this. Kind of in this annoying way to you, like these peasants are instituting their own curfew type of vibe. Even though these are all like good people, there's just that awkwardness about it. Hierarchy, basically. Pete speaks up and says, Ceramic, let me know what you find out if there is vampiric essences happening in Draenor Village. Maybe a connection to the quietness of Mauritania. The dragon family has ruled, but not this quietly, in a very long time. Please stay in communication with us in Mauritania. Ceramic says, yeah, I'll see what I can find. Will do. And the Duke says, great. One matter down. General Bentnose. And you see one of the goblins turn. Hey, we have had issues of goblins ransacking and stealing from our farmers in the area. You have control over the tribes, correct? And the other goblin standing up says, General Warface, he says, no, he does not. He can't control his own kind. And the one sitting down raises his fist and bops the one behind him right in the nose. Ah! And you can see him kind of like starting to quarrel, and the Duke says, enough, enough. I need you two to work together and try to simmer down these tribes. Our farmers are more than fair on the outskirts. Please stop stealing livestock and threatening them with weapons. There was a run-in a couple of days ago where some of your kind was taken care of, and I am sorry about that. But it had to be done. It was threatening travelers, threatening farmers, and threatening livestock. We can't have that here in Lumbridge. People depend on these resources. Yeah, I understand. I'll talk with them. Okay. Another matter solved. Woge. Nothing to add. And the monkey looks up, shrugs, and looks back down, never unfolding his hands. Okay then. Thank you for your input. Anybody else? It sounds like, so far, we have Roald's issue to the south, Your Majesty. We have the Gnome War beginning, and Solana on the precipice of feuds, breakouts, war. What is going on in Tehranwyn?
I left a little while ago because, as someone who's newer to this, I noticed that all of the factions who are, quarreling with each other don't ever seek or have the opportunity to understand outside perspectives, to learn from history. So I thought leaving and trying to hear from others might be helpful. So, like I said earlier, while I'm not asking for anyone here to intervene in any way, I'm really seeking just to understand better what the possible outcomes might be, or how to offer my people a way through this that isn't through war. As you can see, I've kind of committed myself to the natural elements rather than any other way forward. And so I'm just seeking information, ways to learn more about the history. And I'm very curious why the elves don't come here and join you all. Kind of looking at King Rold, who made that sound earlier. Like, I just want to understand better so that I can go back and help them find peace, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. And the Duke gets cut off. The king next to you speaks. Listen, the elves have disappeared for centuries. You all went into hiding, secluding yourself from the realm's problems for hundreds of years, and now you're starting to have a dispute among each other, and you require our help? You want to know our information? You want to learn how we do things? Forgive me, Horatio, but come on. Is she serious? And the Duke says, be respectful, Your Majesty. The elves wouldn't have come out of seclusion if it weren't absolutely necessary. Is that correct, Solana?
Yes. And I understand there's a history much longer than me here, but I can't speak for them and the decisions that they made. I can only speak for what I'm trying to do now, and I hope that you'll receive that.
And the Duke says, I understand King Rold's concerns. We don't know what quarrel or war among your own people means for the rest of us. That's what this meeting is about, is being part of something bigger than yourselves. And the elves haven't been. That there's rumors of history and technology and divinity among your people that have been secluded and unhelpful towards the rest of us for so long. And I truly thought that is why you were finally here, was to be more integrated. Asking for help is bold, frankly. The king next to you kind of snuffles again, but we need to learn more from you to understand why this is important for us. Does that make sense to you? Do you understand where we are coming from? I do not mean to be dismissive or disrespectful.
No, it makes perfect sense.
So, you've heard the issues throughout the realm here. You understand there's a much bigger world out there, and it seems you have begun to dabble in a little bit of it yourselves, traveling so far. These matters are all important to all of us, and they all are dependent on one another to learn and grow from. If you can say with clarity and confidence that your kind would be willing to be more involved, more a part of this realm with the rest of us, we may be more willing to help you out.
Say, I can't speak for everyone, just like no one here can speak for everyone. But I think if we could work together on it, I think we could reach a place where we can get the answer. But I understand if that means that you're not willing to, work with me until I can get that. But I'm not a ruler. I'm not like you guys. I don't make decisions for others.
It's understood. There's something about you, Solana, I have faith in. You would not have come all this way if not. You are a different elf, and I do not mean any disrespect in that. King Roald, she has offered perhaps her services to help figure out what is going on south of Varrock. Would you be willing to pledge resources, if needed, in the future for Solana's cause, if she were to help you? The king goes, I don't know what she can do for us, but I suppose so, if anything does happen, and they want our help. And you can tell he's very dismissive, borderline disrespectful. He's keeping it together for this council, basically.
That's exactly what I hoped you would say. Kind of a look.
And the Duke says, okay, is there any other information that should be said at this table this evening? And you see slowly hands being put on the table. And the Duke says, great, Solana, talk it over with whoever you need to talk it over with in helping the king. And meet with either him or your squire, King Roald. He goes, yes, they can talk with Sir Pryson. That is fine. I plan to head back to the city in the morning. Excellent. Okay. Sounds like you are willing to look into the King Roald matter. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Excellent. Ceramic Vars, I appreciate your input into the Draenor village situation. Please keep up to date with Pete in Mauritania. Goblins, thank you for coming. Please look into your tribes and wrangle them. I do not want more hurt happening. Osmond, please keep us updated. We are your neighbors here in Lumbridge. We are willing to help if you need help finding Prince Ali. Everyone else, I appreciate you coming. Feel free to stay in contact with us if you should need anything else. I'm happy to hear Apatol in the mountain pass is quiet. Hopefully we can get word to King Lathis about what has been decided, especially on the gnome front. Seems we are going to leave them as is for now. If any of you hear of anything, please stay in contact with me in regards to that war. If it continues to grow, they are going to need help. We cannot lose the minds of the gnomes. Is that understood? And again, all the hands are on the table. A second hand is placed on the table. And you kind of gather this is a way to adjourn the meeting. Duke stands, bows to you all. Let's go have some fun. Enjoy the rest of the week. This evening will be fun. And he kind of smiles and dismisses. Do you guys want to do anything over this hour?
Fubar wants to walk up to Bundock and be like, hey, do I really bug you that bad?
I just don't understand all your secrecy, and you seem to.
I mean, we all have something to hide, right? Like we all have a past, you know.
I'm not saying that you have to tell everyone your life story everywhere you go by any means, but I believe in being true and fair. And like the skull, for instance, it made zero sense to me why you would want to hide that from a wizard. Like, I
Someone
don't
we just
believe
met and we don't trust yet.
the man controlled that whole tower and is more powerful than any of us can presume to know. And you're gonna blatantly try to lie to him in his home.
Right, but what if he was the bad guy the whole time?
Yeah, screw us for questioning the people in
Yeah.
power.
Yeah.
Who hurt you guys so much that you literally think the worst in everyone?
What the hell?
I come up, I go, yo.
I'm
Well,
like,
I don't.
I'm between them.
I'm not gonna lie. All right, like I don't know the workings of the world the best,
I am in his face.
but it doesn't. I don't. What you're good here. There's no.
I'm
It's not.
blocking you.
It's not hostile by any means. General question. I don't understand why
yo,
you
you're
guys.
getting real judgy over here.
I go, listen, I am down for mischief, but we can't just do it off the cuff if we're going to do this together. It has to be put to a vote. Is it worth?
I guess.
I just wanted to know what I was doing that made him so upset all the time, I guess.
It's that. It's why you like. Why can't we? Why do you mistrust people so much? Like I guess maybe again, call me naive, but I try to give people the benefit of the doubt.
It's always good to be cautious. That's the only thing. You never know.
Give you that. But I guess I also don't see why to lie to someone you don't truly know, you might make an enemy versus a friend.
Risk. It's definitely worth it because you never know. But I mean, like, I trust you. Like, do you trust me at all?
You haven't, to my
Done
knowledge,
anything to make you think any different,
No,
right?
you haven't done anything to me personally yet for me to not trust you.
I was just curious.
Just don't give me a reason not to, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, Bundock, you have no idea that he stole the tip from the bartender. You have no idea that he may or may not have taken something from this house.
Well, I know, but the book, though, I caught him on the
book
books.
is the only thing. Yep.
Right, that's why I'm saying you haven't done anything to me, to my knowledge, for me to not trust you personally. So I don't have a problem with you.
All right, cool.
I
And I reach my hand out and I shake his hand.
I mean, yeah.
And then I put my hand on top of their hands.
And then I just turn and walk away.
Okay. Are you guys leaving the house at all? Lug, you know your parents will be back soon. Are you going to stay here and wait for them, or are you going to try to get these ragtag crew out of here before they get home?
I'm going to try to usher them out. Maybe go see what's going on with the cook and see how he's doing. See if he was able to fix Yoshi's little mess with the bread.
You know the cook is going to be very busy with this council meeting dinner, so he may or may not be available to talk to. Are you going to still go try talking with him, or?
No, I'm just going to go raid his kitchen for food.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing?
Bundock is going to head over to the tavern. If anybody wants to talk more or anything, that's where you'll find me. I'm going to go have a couple of drinks and just kind of people watch.
Lug, can I come with you to the kitchen?
Yeah, absolutely.
You've never been in.
You've never been in a kitchen?
I've been in a kitchen. I haven't been in this kitchen. I don't.
Oh, no, there's hopefully plenty of food. The chef's really a good cook.
I think I would stay back, and I'm going to pack my things.
Awesome.
What do we have? We have to, like, would we know a way we have to get out of this night ship thing? Like, something we'd have to do? Like, go say, hey, we're kind of done.
You have no idea.
Oh, shit.
I'd say just don't say anything. Just never.
I'm going to start working on that finding out how that all works and getting out of that.
Okay, well, the only person that would know is currently sitting in guarding the king in this meeting is the knight you're a squire for. You don't know if you can just desert. You don't know if there's penalties with that. You don't know if there's like a formal.
Got it.
You weren't like
Alright.
sworn into knighthood or anything, but you
Oh,
were
so
hired.
good. No contracts, right?
Yeah, you're hired, but yeah.
Okay. So I just go to the kitchen then, since I know he's in that meeting. I'll just follow Foz to the kitchen with Lud, if that's all right with Lud.
Sure, the more the merrier.
All right, nothing like a three-way party split. I like this. So, Bundock, you head to the tavern. It's busy. There are open bases. You see a group of dwarves sitting at a table, all with a stout. There's a couple of people up at the bar. And you see this large, muscular individual sitting in the corner, girl on each leg of his lap. He's got a large beer in front of him, bald head, big, long neck beard that kind of grows straight into his chest hair. He's wearing a black t-shirt, has skull and crossbones on the front, blue pants, and one of his arms is tattooed from shoulder to wrist in solid black tattoo. And you just kind of notice he's not like the regular people that are here. He's standing out. But Bradley is behind the bar. You can go ahead and order a drink.
Yes, I'll order 2.
Okay.
I'll just do just the standard ale
Okay. 1 gold piece
for 2
per beer.
Oh, I was gonna say, hot damn.
Yeah, 2 gold.
All right, 2 gold. I'll give him 3. You know, I'm not gonna keep. I know I'm sure he's busy, so I'm just gonna thank you. Give him 3 gold. I'm gonna go wander over to my dwarven brethren and just kind of say hi to them and just kind of catch up, see how they're doing, and I'm gonna ask them if they know anything about who's the dude in the corner.
We don't know who he is. I came in a little bit ago. He's been putting away the alcohol, that's for sure. Seems to be attractive with the ladies, as you can see, but none of our concern, none of our business. Don't care.
Fair enough.
They're looking at you. They're like, nice hair.
Well, these aren't the ones that came with me?
No. They're a lot like it. Same species, if you will, of dwarf. Same tribe.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. That's a family trait.
Where you come from?
Keldegrim.
Oh, that far west, eh?
Yep. And my father is Vigor.
There he goes. Vigor, the weapon maker.
Yes, the same.
He does good craftsmanship. Weapons are very impressive.
Well, thank you. Yes, that's a very kind words. I try to follow in his footsteps. He helped me. He helped me build mine. You know, kind of show him my warhammer.
Hey, very nice. What do you call her?
Yeah, it's I'm open to suggestions. Nothing. I don't think it's seen quite enough battle yet to truly earn a grand name.
No suggestion here. Weapons name themselves. You'll find it someday. We come from the Ice Mountain, there north of Falador. Pickaxe makers. That's our trade. Miners.
Oh, hey, we need pickaxes and the best ore you can get to make the best weapons.
Absolutely. We're working our way towards the mining guild underneath Falador. Once those tunnels are connected, the economy will boom, I tell you. And all the dwarves pound the table with their fists.
So, well, cheers to that.
Right. They all cheers, and we'll move to the kitchens in Lumbridge. You guys enter and smell all types of cooked food. There are ingredients everywhere. The kitchen is a mess currently. You see hot ovens, a lot of storage shelves, utensils everywhere. As you enter, the cook is arms full, heading into another door and says, "Oh, Lug, if you wouldn't mind helping me clean up a little bit. Don't know who the two of you are, but welcome to the kitchens. No one's allowed in this door." And he pushes his way all the way through and disappears behind it, and the door kind of swings back and forth shut. You guys notice there's a trap door in the floor, but beyond that, it's a very used and busy kitchen. What do you guys want to do?
Immediately, Lug looks at Foz and Fubar and goes, "Don't even think about going in that door."
Put my hands up.
He then continues on and says, help yourself to whatever there's in here. Sounds like they're done with everything. He just needs us to clean up."
Don't mind if I do. I'm gonna start like just looking for like any cooling racks that might have pastries on it, or open up any oven doors, see if there's anything cooking, get some smells. I just want to get a lay of the land, get an idea of what's
What
being
we got
cooked
going
here.
on here?
Yeah.
What we got.
Yeah, you can see a very large meal was prepped, and it appears that the last of it had just gone through the door. There is a cooling rack that has cookies sitting out on it, cooling. But aside from that, there's no other prepared food. You see like leftover sugar and empty milk bottles and flour all over the floor, and it's just, you can tell the cook has been very overwhelmed in preparing this large meal for the very important people on the other side of the door. But there are cookies available.
I look over at
Uh,
Lug and I kind of point at the cookies, and they kind of point at me, and then I point at my brother, and then I point at the cookies again, and then I point at me again.
Lug points back at the cookies and then points at Fedora and then points back at the cookies and points at Fubar.
Is there like a bag on the ground anywhere and anything I could hold a bunch of stuff in? Like a
There's like a burlap sack in the
Yeah.
corner that probably had like potatoes or onions or something in
I
it.
grab it and just shovel all the cookies that are left over into it.
I'm just gonna take one in my hands.
I'm taking all it can fit in that potato sack.
All right, the sack is about as tall as you are,
Yeah.
and at the bottom has this like mash of nice, warm, moist cookies.
Hell
Fubar,
yeah.
what are you doing?
They're
many cookies is
leftovers. Well, what if the other, like everybody else wants some? Like the rest of the party. That
Sorry,
we're trying to fit in here.
I
You know, so it's like,
reach.
hey, we were thinking about you.
No, let's. I take exactly one of the cookies from the bag, and I put it back on the table. And
Oh, I got you.
do you get it?
Yeah, my bad.
Okay.
And then I take one out of the bag and I break it in half and I leave it on the table and then start dragging the bag away.
Thank you,
Lug.
Lug. This is awesome.
Yeah, Lug responds and says, "It's how nice of you two to take some for our party."
Yeah,
And
oh yeah.
completely ignores the fact that there's only 1.5 cookies left. Does Lug know what is in that trapdoor?
Yeah, you know it's a cellar, usually storage for food and whatnot down there. You haven't gone down there too much yourself. You're very much a kitchen hand. The cook usually has everything prepped for the day before you even enter the kitchen. So you've been there, but not very much.
Lug's curiosity is getting in the best of him. Even though he told the twins not to go into the trapdoor, he kind of wants to, just to see if there's anything down there.
That's your call.
What are you looking at, Lug?
Nothing. I think I left something down in the cellar.
Oh,
And he points to the door.
What did you leave down there?
I don't really know. I'll know it when I see it. I just know I left something down there.
you like work in here or something?
Oh, the chef works for me. I was kind of I was the head chef and he was my sous chef type deal. So yeah.
Oh, so I really don't have to feel bad about these cookies, because like this is basically like you said it was okay.
Also,
Yeah, absolutely. He was doing this because I told him to.
Also, if we're doing this, you're telling Bundock this was your idea because he's already keeping an eye out on me. So I'm just
Yeah,
saying that now.
We'll blame it on. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
One of the others.
Yeah, one of the others. Exactly. Yoshi joined us later. He's always messing stuff up.
Got it. Okay.
So Lug, you head towards this trapdoor and poof, The door opens back up. What are you doing here? What's going on? Are you cleaning up? What? Who are they?
I say, hey chef, these are Fubar and Fazora. They're basically knights. At least that's what they told us.
At your
But
service.
yeah, they're acquaintances, and we finished cleaning up for you. And by cleaned up, I just wiped up a little stuff in the corner, and then I point to it.
He goes, "Oh yeah, you two were the helping the Duke with the favor. I gave you bread and tea, right? You were part of that group.
You got it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for doing that. By the way, I might have some cookies here for you. My mind's slipping me. I thought I had a fresh rack of cookies here. I'm sorry. Anyway, thanks for helping out, Lug. You always impress me with your cleaning abilities. What do you need? I'm very busy.
I was just checking in to see if you needed help with anything.
Okay. The meeting should be wrapped up pretty soon here. Yeah, the party's gonna start tonight, I assume. I'll be taking orders, I guess. But yeah, enjoy your evening. You don't have to work for me here.
All right, thanks. See you later.
I should hope that he works for you, Lug. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I should hope not. All right, whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could see he forgot
He's
about the cookies that he
flustered.
made.
Yeah,
Exactly. So he
needs
probably
help.
forgot who his boss was.
Yeah, Chef, if you need help at some point in the future, Fozzie is the name. Fozzie. Thank you.
Fozzie, all right. Any experience in a kitchen?
Yes, years.
Really? What's your expert dish?
Oh, not so much pastries generally.
Oh, pastries. A dessert connoisseur.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, croissants.
Awesome. I'm not so good in the pastry department. I will confess. I make simple cookies, maybe a pie here or there, but nothing super elegant or fancy, I'm afraid.
Well, maybe I can show you a thing or two.
I would love that. Yes, please. Stop in. I'm never too old to learn a new thing. Appreciate that.
Sounds like
Lug-
I'll be seeing you soon.
Lug turns to Fazora and goes, "Are you hitting on the chef?"
It's playful banter. There's no sexual aspect to any of this.
Oh,
I look over at my brother.
I just got my hands up, like whatever. Like I'm not a part of this conversation.
All right. So,
Take out and start eating it.
all right. Are you guys leaving the kitchen?
yeah, I think we helped clean up in more ways than one, it sounds like.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You make your way back out into the courtyard, and it is about this time that a knight approaches you, a lumberjacks guard approaches you, and holds you back away from the main steps, and kind of backs you up, says, make room, make room, make room, backs you up, and you see a line of very wealthy and prominent people in the realm walk out the front gates of Lumbridge Castle. You see a king wearing a crown. You see a hooded individual in like a tan and green cloak. The cloak hangs down over his forehead and eyes. All you see is his mouth and his nose. You see a very tanned individual wearing a black hooded tunic, very weathered face, very tanned, sun-spotted. He also walks out. You see a monkey in jewels and a crown that you've seen before in the courtyard, kind of proudly walks out and towards these large gorillas that are in the courtyard that kind of surround this chariot. You see a couple of well-armored goblins, unarmed but well-armored, kind of bickering at each other as they leave the front steps. You see a knight dressed in bright white shiny armor with a white headband and red cloak walk out. You see Solana exit. You see a dwarf that is very well trimmed, very proper, very short, well dressed, compared to a lot of the dwarves you've seen that are very rough bearded and carrying tools and patchy clothes. This dwarf is very prim and proper. And then you see the Duke wave to them all from the gates and addresses the courtyard, says, "Have fun tonight! The festival begins tomorrow. Games, prizes, competition. It will be a good time. Enjoy yourselves and welcome to Lumbridge." And everybody in the courtyard kind of claps and cheers. What do you guys do?
I'm kind of standing at attention a little bit.
Okay.
Hands behind my back. Cookie also behind my back.
Solana, you spot 3 of your friends off to the right a little bit as you exit the castle.
Can you remind me the name of the knight?
The one that was sitting next to you?
The one that Fazora and Fubar work for.
Oh, Sir Pryzen.
Is he around? Do I see him?
Yes, he is walking behind the king, who was the first to exit the castle.
Okay. Can I kind of like follow them? I want to talk to him, but I'm not sure if he's like allowed to or something. I don't know how that works.
Okay. So you're walking past your friends because the king and the knight has turned to the right and headed towards their tent, which is along the castle wall there. So if you're following them, you can definitely do so. And the 3 of you see Solana kind of like see you, but continue following the king and Sir Pryzen. You get to their tent, and you notice inside Solana, you're kind of standing on the outside of it, looking in. Very nice, very royal. He travels very, very well and does not miss any comfort. And you see him kind of plop down into a recliner, the knight standing by his side. What do you do?
If I kind of like make it clear that I want to come up and speak to them. I like bow probably because I don't know what else to do, and ask if I can speak to Sir Pryzen.
And the king looks, kind of shakes his head and waves Sir Pryzen over to you. And he goes, "Yes, ma'am. What can I do for you?"
And Solana will say, "Hi, I was in the council meeting with
Yes.
King Rold, and you were also there, so you know that. I forgot. If you recall, as part of King Rold's request, I offered services.
Yes, indeed.
What I want to ask you is if I can borrow your squires for this, the 2 of them that are siblings. Can you do without them for the time it takes to figure this out?"
One moment. He turns around and he kneels down next to the king and he has a whisper conversation, and there's this like annoyed wave, and the knight stands up, bows, and walks over to you. "Yes, they are on temporary leave. Do with them as you need. Don't get them killed, please."
Thank you. When we're ready to start our investigation of this, where should we go to start our kind of journey? Is there someone we should talk to?
The king wants to rest tonight. He will be leaving in the morning. I will be apparently left behind by myself to clean up and travel back. Come see me in the morning. We are going to enjoy the evening for tonight. We'll talk more business in the morning.
Thank you. Solana kind of awkwardly bows again and then turns to leave.
Okay, and you turn and you see Lug, Fazora, and Fubar almost like half approaching you, walking your direction, wondering what the hell's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys say?
Hey, how'd it go?
Do I notice that they have been eating cookies?
Fazora has one in her hand. Are you hiding it behind your back still?
No, and I probably have like a mouthful of it.
Yeah.
Too.
Okay.
I think I want to say that. Yeah, I probably had said it with a mouthful of cookies. Like,
And I want to be dragging the bag up, like trying to pull it.
Okay. Yeah, it's like light but awkward because it's as big as you are. So you're like trying to scrunch it and hold it as best you can while you walk. So yeah, you see her mouth is full of something and she's like talking through a mouthful.
hey, how'd it go?
Solana is somehow, I think, like even more serious looking than usual after leaving the castle. Like she has like her brow is like furrowed. She's like thinking, or she looks maybe like tired from thinking, and says, I think it went well. Are we meeting back at the house we were at before, or is there somewhere else we should go?
I mean, we could meet at the tavern. I think Bundoc's over there. I don't know who else is, but it's whatever.
Yeah, Lug, where'd Yoshi go?
Speaking of, Yoshi, you packed your things. What are you doing in the meantime?
I feel like I was packing my things, throwing stuff together. Did Lug's parents come back or no?
Are you intentionally taking a while to see if they will come back?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, you're like picking things up and like a memory, and you're like putting it down and like realizing you're leaving, and you're kind of feeling weird about it, and you do hear the door open and close through the house, and Lug's parents do walk in,
I come downstairs like, looking like I'm leaving.
and they go, "What's going on, Yoshi? You okay?"
We had one task. All these people that we helped, I just want to go away. I'm trying to find new paths. I think Lug's coming with me too. I'll let him tell you that. But this might be the last time you see me.
And they both are very taken aback by this. Hans says, "Yoshi, where are you going? Why is this the last time we'll see you? You're never coming back?"
Oh, I'm sure I'll come back, but I don't know how long my adventures will take me. I got other plans.
And tears are welling up in Sherry's eyes, and she kneels down and holds out her arms for a hug.
I go right in.
And she says, "You'll always have a home here, Yoshi."
And I say I'm forever grateful what you guys did for me, what this town did for me. But I just feel like there's something else for me out there.
And Hans speaks up. He goes, "We've always felt this day would come, to be honest, Yoshi. It's only natural to know where you come from, and doing what I do, I've done my best to figure out what I could for you when this day came. I feel your answers may be somewhere in the Kandarin region. The Grand Tree is one of the mainstays of the gnome race, and has been throughout history. Perhaps you'll be able to track your lineage starting there. Sherry lets go of you. Hans kneels down, gives you a hug. Says, "You're going to do great. I have full faith in that. Have Lug stop in before he leaves."
Yes, I will. Thank you for everything. I will be back. Listen for tales about us.
Oh, we will. We'll have our ears open all the time. Don't forget to write to us. Let us know what's going on, so we don't have to hear it through other people.
For sure.
Great. Party's happening outside. Fun day tomorrow. Hopefully you can find some enjoyment before you leave Lumbridge. End on a good note.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure I will.
So the four of you that were in the castle grounds are leaving the castle grounds. Bundock headed for the tavern. Not sure where Yoshi's at. And you walk past Lug's home and see Yoshi fully. He's got a big pack with him. Maybe a little misty-eyed. And takes a deep breath as he leaves your home, Lug. And you guys are kind of passing him at this point. What do you want to say?
I say, "Hey Yoshi, is everything all right?"
I say you're going to want to go in there. Talk to Hans and Sherry.
Okay. So I guess I go talk to my mom and dad.
Okay.
I tell him, I say, "Hey Mom, Dad, just wanted to let you know that Yoshi and I are going on a trip to find out where he's from." And I say, "Don't try to stop me. I've already made up my mind. He can't look after him, so I got to take care of him."
And you see that they were already pretty misty-eyed. They both walk over to you, each giving you a hug as well, and say, "You both Should have each other's backs out there. You are brothers after all. Go spread the good word. Lug. The region needs Saradomin now more than ever. Look after Yoshi. Try not to let him get into too much trouble. And help each other out.
I give my mom a hug and give my dad a handshake. And then I say, do you guys have any money I could borrow for this trip?
Yes, we could aid you in that for sure. And your dad disappears into their room. A couple of minutes, comes back out, and he's holding a stack of coins. He goes, we always felt this day would come, especially for Yoshi. Share this with him, and he hands you 100 gold pieces, 2 sapphires worth 10 gold pieces apiece, small ones, and then there is a diamond in there worth 50 gold pieces. So while he's in there, what did the rest of you say now that you've met up with Yoshi?
You're really serious about this.
Oh yeah, I don't know where I come from. I have no idea.
Not even like a general region or, I mean, nothing? Don't know your parents, don't know where, you don't know anything.
Lug's family just told me to check out Kandurin. They said start there. They said that's where gnome race was established.
DM, is it far from here?
Yes, it's quite a ways from here, actually. You're unsure of how many days travel it'll take, but it is a whole new region of the continent. I would say roughly halfway between here and Taranwin, which is the far west where Solana's from.
Solana goes down to one knee and holds out her hand to shake Yoshi's hand.
I shake
Do
her
you,
hand.
did you shake it?
Oh yeah.
And she says, deciding to leave home is very difficult. It's something that I've recently done as well, but I'm honored to be a part of your journey to figure out whatever it is that you're looking to figure out.
Oh, I'm wiping tears from my eyes, and I go, "Thank you."
Lug exits his home and joins you guys. Where are you guys
Yeah.
all heading?
Let's go find Bondoc, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Do any of you say anything to Lug? Lug is kind of gathering himself a little bit.
I feel like I would know what would happen. I just would like have my arm on the back of his, like as far as I could reach, I guess.
On my hamstring.
Yep, on your hamstring.
His lower buttocks.
Does Lug travel lightly? What's his pack looking like?
Yeah, I definitely didn't pack any extra clothes. And I just have stuff to write and read. And then just your generalized knapsack to lay my head down. And then, of course, my purse. My fat wallet.
Do I notice the fat wallet?
No, you would not with your passive.
Okay.
So you all head towards the tavern. You enter, you can see it's very, very busy. You see Bundock sitting with 4 other dwarves. I'll move you over. So we got Bundock sitting in here with these guys. As the group of you enter the tavern, you see Bradley behind the bar. You see a couple of human individuals sitting at the bar. There's another table that's recently opened. You see a bunch of empty beer glasses on it. And in the corner, you see this very large, muscular man. Has women sitting all around him, bald, big neck beard that grows straight into his chest here. He's wearing a black t-shirt with skull and crossbones on it, blue pants. One of his arms is tattooed from his shoulder to his wrist. Solid black. And as you all walk in and are feeling kind of out of spirits, what do you guys do?
As a man with a beard and bald, do I know this gentleman?
I would like to say as well, like, would me or Lug know this guy from living here? Like,
Neither of you know who this is. It is out of towner.
I think if
Fubar?
anyone would, it'd be, yeah, Fubar and Fozzie.
Yeah.
Fubar,
Mhm.
being who you are and what you do, you know who you think this is. We'll put it that way. He matches a description of somebody you've heard about in Varrock as Johnny the Beard, and he is a member of the Black Arm Gang. A top member of the Black Arm Gang, as rumor would have it, if this is who you think it is.
Can I whisper that to Foz? Is that who I think it is? And I want to
think-
say this: the beard.
It's Johnny the Beard, yeah. Black Arm Gang.
I just want to be watching him.
What the hell's he doing here?
Right.
You all approach Bradley to get your drinks. You note where Bundock is. And you hear this loud booming voice come from that corner. Hi! Wait a minute! That's that bird I used as bait!
Oh,
And
shit.
that's where we'll leave it for tonight.
Hey all, Yoshi here. Thanks for watching. Please follow us on x.com at 99DnDing pod and on Instagram at 99DnDing. If you are enjoying the adventure so far, please like and subscribe. And if you happen to run into Bandos or my mom and dad, let us know in the comments. Bye!